Hello everyone! Today on Binky's Gaming Thoughts, more Suit of Cups. Today we will be looking at the 8, 9, and 10 of Cups. So the 8 of Cups, the image is of a Red Templar Knight. For the Rider-Waite in miniature decks, it is also called the 8 of Cups, and for the Green Witch Tarot, it is called the 8 of Chalices. In terms of significance, more powerful than some of the other Red Templar minions, it is representative at this stage, but indeed we are following a pattern here. The card itself represents the inability to do more, a turning point, plans being abandoned, advancement, reaching a higher level, etc. When reversed, it represents forced changes, less defensiveness, dissatisfaction, passing inhibitions, reckless abandonment, foresight, having less reluctance, and that sort of thing. Let's have a look at the symbolism of the image of the card. Eyes yellow with the light of the truth, hands clenching in anger of the understanding of the loss of will with what he has become. The Templar Knight no longer represents the order he once stood for, as drawn on his armor, but rather has fallen on his knees for a corrupted and false cause. Red lyrium, glowing out of his back, resembles fire, where great flames burn all life around it and chokes all hope and consumes all magic, to become the evil its master represents. Okay, what do I think this means for the future of Dragon Age? Many knights from the Order were lost to Corypheus's cause, but now those who remain, those who are yet uncorrupted, could very well join the cause to restore Thedas, or reform a new order, or leave the order, break free from lyrium in order to change themselves and their abilities, make themselves less vulnerable to corruption, or at least, the less as possible, and maybe follow in Cullen's footsteps in breaking free from their lyrium addictions. 9 of Cups, the image is of a Behemoth. For the Rider-Waite in miniature decks, it is also called the 8 of Cups, and for the Green Witch Tarot, it is called the 8 of Chalices. Significance. So, a Behemoth, and I'm not sure I'm pronouncing it properly, is practically all red lyrium, and almost the most powerful of Corypheus's minions. The card itself represents plentifulness and fulfillment, wishes that are granted, prosperity, a happy future, success, rewarded efforts, material and emotional attainment, positive environments, accurate intuition, victory, performance, etc. When reversed, the card represents overturned success, poor choices, suspicion, disturbed tranquility, selfish desires, self-indulgence, sorrow, irresponsibility, squandered fortunes, complacency, blind faith, emotional blockage, foolishness, etc. Let's have a look at the symbolism of the card. The embodiment of the all-consuming corruption itself, the Behemoth sees only death and torture. It sees the darkness that surrounds all and threatens to engulf everything. A white moon shines upon the darkness, showing the truth to all who can see it. A clawed hand reaches out monstrously, ready to pierce through the veils of reality and expose the corruption seeping into and out of everything. What do I think this means for the future of Dragon Age? So I feel that these creatures on these cards are getting more and more morbid. Or perhaps it's my interpretation of it, but there is a sort of morbid and dark aspect to it. There's a morbid and dark aspect to Dragon Age. And I think if we're not careful, if we don't, gather enough resources, we could see a very dark and morbid end to the game, whether in Dragon Age 4 or Dragon Age 5, or another one. It really depends. It could be similar to the very morbid ending if we don't prepare enough at the end of Mass Effect 2. It really depends. The ending could be happy, tragic, morbid. It's all in the realm of the endless possibilities. 10 of Cups. The image is of a Revenant. For the Rider-Waite and miniature decks, it is also called the 8 of Cups, and for the Greenwich Tarot, it is called the 8 of Chalices. And here we have it. One more powerful of the minions, undead and possessed, the Revenant. Le Revenant. The card itself represents happiness with home life, conclusions, success, acknowledgement, enrichment, recognition, well-earned self-esteem, social standing, reaping rewards from efforts, enlightened inspiration, etc. When reversed, it represents dashed hopes, family disputes, quarrels, instability, hostility, hatred, danger, evil, loss of friendship, violation, exposure, instability in home or emotions, etc. So let's have a look at the symbolism of the image of the card. Standing out is the big orange-gray upside-down cup with the Roman numeral X on it. The cup's position represents depletion of all resources, exhaustion of all solutions, being spent, and the emptiness that follows. The X marks the transformative place where magic will be depleted, where the worlds collide and one can enter the abyss, the Fade, as the circles represent the world and its various paths to either darkness or illumination. Cold eyes stare at us as the dark creature returned from the Fade, returned from the land of the dead, stands holding a great curved axe, red behind it of life and blood, blood that has been spilt, life that is exhausted as the Revenant empties the world of life as much as it can. What do I think this means for the future of Dragon Age? Okay, so many who follow the path of the Maker say it leads to illumination, the light of the Maker. But the corruption in the Golden City, which now makes it black, makes you wonder if it leads to darkness instead. And if it's true what Corypheus says, that the seat was empty, then dark and empty is the path. No? Perhaps this path that is dark and empty is not that of the Maker, but that of the elven people. Or it is of the Makers, or another path. The night is long and the path is dark, the shepherd's path. Shepherd. But the symbols in this card coincide a heck of a lot, if you ask my opinion, with the symbols spoken in the Chant of Light. And that ends it for this video, folks. Once again, in the description, the link to the transcript and all the decks I mentioned, plus the books I used to determine what the cards represent, which are The Path of the Fool by Michael Sarian and The Greenwich Tarot Companion by Anne Mora. Throughout the week, I'll be releasing the music from this video, so like this video if you like it, subscribe if you're not already a subscriber, share it with all your Dragon Age fans, even people who aren't Dragon Age fans. Get them hooked to Dragon Age. Let's convert people to Dragon Ageism. And I'll see you all soon. Masaranas. sure to check out some of my other stuff. Gaming, drinks, parodies, and some random silly stuff. You can also join in on the fun on Patreon for some exclusive content. Thanks for tuning in.